All right. Fortune and Satyen, thank you for joining us today on China-Africa Talk.
It's our pleasure.
Good to have me.
Great. Is this your first time covering the two sessions? What theme or policy stands out for you this year? And if you've covered before, what feels different in 2026? I'll begin with you, Fortune.
Thank you very much, and it's good to be here. I've been here from 2022, and it's been a back-to-back thing. It's been a very wonderful session to realize that there have been remarkable improvements, achievements, and the scorecard is laudable. What really stood out is the fact that there have been consistency in the aspects of the plan. It's always projected, and it's always realized. You could tell the lot of energy being put in place to ensure the plan is really, really, really detailed. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, you discover that at the session, the real out to discover that there's nothing that is left undone.
Right.
So that is really, really, really worthy of emulation, and it's a plus. It's a plus for China.
Mm. And how about your thoughts there, Satyen? Is this your first time covering the two sessions?
It is indeed my first time.
Yeah.
I came to China for the very first time last year. I was here for 4 months at the invitation of the CIPCC. I stayed for 4 months. And during that 4 months, we were exposed to Chinese history and its culture and how China became the powerhouse it is today.
Right.
Right? And we were also given a glimpse of how the 5-year plan works out. And this time I had the chance to come and see it all by myself. Mm. Unfortunately, with the trouble going on between Israel and Iran, the Middle East airports were closed. So I reached nearly at the end of the opening ceremony.
Okay.
So I had the chance to go there today. I missed yesterday's events. But it was just wow. I mean, you always see that those images on TV,
yes.
and today being part of the event is for me something wonderful. Now going back to the 5-year plan, this is what determines where China is going.
Yeah.
And what I like about the plan is that it not only shapes the path forward, but it also stops and see, are we lagging behind somewhere? Mm. Is there something which is not going on as good as should have been? Is there something we should refocus on? Is there something we should drop? Is there something we should add? So these are things that work out very, very good. And I think that this is something which should inspire a lot of countries to have plans for the coming 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 25 years. So you can prepare how the bright your future will be, how you're going to shape the future for the younger generation coming.
Fortune, in the government work report unveiled at the two sessions, China has outlined its achievements and set out its future key development targets. What are your views on the report, and which key points are relevant to Africa?
Thanks for the question. The aspects I really will give an applause to is the aspect of deepening its cooperation. That means it's never relenting on its oasis. This is very, very encouraging that amidst all odds in the world where there is a global development challenge, China is still tenacious on the aspect of carrying its partners along, helping Africa to be on the same page with it, and integrating innovation, even amidst the artificial intelligence age. It's really coming up with things that can benefit, Africa at large. You can tell so well that China has really helped Africa much more than words can say. To imagine that its policies, its 5-year plan is so innovative, so mind-boggling, so unraveling, is more than words can even imagine. I looked at the plan in terms of its partnership, its area, its focus on artificial intelligence, its plan to deepen its partnership with Africa, its cooperation with Africa against all odds in area of security, bettering the well-being of the people, bettering the lots of the citizenry, and increasing its investment in that area. This is something that is really breathtaking and much more catchy. And I'm also very, very keen on ways Africa can learn from the way China invests adequately in planning.
All right.
This is something that is a missing link across Africa. Africa is trying. We can't expect both to be on the same page. But for China to have been consistent in a session for about 14 good editions for 5-year good project, it's something that is worthy of emulation. I think there should be more of this integration, this cooperation, where Africa can have a seat on the table to learn how China does it. And then we get to see African countries implementing it. Then before long, you get to see African countries doing what China is doing. And before, I think that would be something worth much more than laudable.
Then it means you got a lot to take back home there
I am
in terms
very,
of a story.
very willing to offer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And over to you, Satyen. As China begins its 15th five-year plan, which development strategies interest you the most? And what experience do you think your country can draw from it, or even your region?
What's good is that the plans that China has, it's not for only for within China, but from also outside China.
Yes.
And we know that China and Africa have been collaborating over the last 60, 70 years with diplomatic ties tying Africa and China for very long. Now, China has a huge advance on the rest of the world, and especially over compared to Africa. Africa has been lagging behind in a lot of sectors. Okay, we didn't have the means to go very far. Most of Africa has been colonized and then left behind in a pitiful state, and so now they are trying to catch up, to grow as nations, right? And China is a big friend in helping us achieve this, right? In a lot of different sectors, be it development, be it science, be it technology, being making railways or developing roads or developing infrastructures, airports. So China is a big friend. But now I think that today in the world of technology, okay, the areas where I think China could help us the most is where China has become the #1 in terms of technology, in terms of solar energy, green energy, in terms of electric cars, in terms of computing power, AI, okay? So this is what is going to dominate the world in the coming years, right? So if we think about that, I would love to see China help us more in terms of technology, because I think the education-wise, Africa has grown up now. Most of the Africans have a good level of education. So now what we need is to get a little more help in a few complex areas where we don't have the R&D, the research and development facilities. So in this, China could help us to grow a little bit faster.
Just to chip in on what they're saying, if you check properly, one strength Africa has that is unharnessed is that of population strength, especially with the young generation. And I know China has been doing a lot in terms of technological advancement and people-to-people relations. But something is really missing. It's the knowledge base sharing. You know, when you have a particular chunk of population not really matching up over time to maintain policy trust of the government, it will create a lacuna. It will create a big gap that no matter the movement, no matter the level of the revolution for change, for growth, you'll not be getting the results that you so desire. So I think there should be a kind of a nosedive into the education aspect, technology, artificial intelligence, all under the edges of education. Whatever it is doing, you know, it should be able to inculcate this knowledge, this culture, this value in the process, so that those from the rural area can be empowered, those in the urban, and they can have it as a vision to be more patriotic. Even if they're trying to make a startup to be more self-reliant, they look at it from a national identity or national consciousness perspective. For instance, the government of Nigeria is doing a lot with its 4D foreign policy, you know, demography, diplomacy, diaspora, you know, just to mention this few. And it is doing this to make sure that it carries its people along and solve a lot of problems. So by the time such is integrated into the fabrics of people's thinking, value system, behavior, you discover that it becomes a walkover for the country to achieve, for the continent to achieve. So I am looking forward to an integration in the cooperation where China can improve its investment to helping African countries, in this regard to be a power.
I'm going to ask this question to both of you there, and probably we'll still continue there with you, Fortune. China has vowed again at the two sessions for its high-level opening up. One example of China's such commitment is its zero tariff treatment to 53 African countries. How do you evaluate this move, and what opportunities does it bring to Nigeria?
Because in an age where some parties are incapacitated either by resources or by a barrier one way or the other, and you have a very good partner offering you the hand, the back, the strength, the ladder for you to climb, it's something that is worth celebrating.
Yeah.
And why this is very, very key is that it means China really has done an impact assessment. It understands the root cause of problems of underdevelopment. And it has a perspective of knowing that you cannot solve a problem you don't understand. So it is coming so apt to say, okay, I'm doing this at a time that is so right, and to take you in the right direction to where you ought to be. Look at it just like he said, that most countries in Africa are still suffering under the loins of colonialism, and nobody seems to help them, give them that lending hand, that helping hand, or that you understand. And China is really coming, as a salvation. So I think African countries should also embrace this with all their hearts, with all their might, and it will be very right for them to be on the next level.
Your thoughts there, Satyen. How do you evaluate this move, and what opportunities?
Well, I won't take any names, but you know who's been putting tariffs all around the world lately, right? And China is acting the contrary, right? Like, you're imposing tariffs, we are removing tariffs, okay? You have someone who's trying to crush you, we are trying to help you out, right? And this is a win-win situation for China and for the African countries, right? Like, Mauritius has had for a very long time been one of the leaders in the field of textile. We had benefited from the AGUA Convention, where we used to export our textile under very preferential rates to the US. US was our biggest market, right? And then slowly, the length of the contract is nearing its end. Okay, and what we see now is that we are getting difficulties to send our textile over there, and we are having a lot of problems. And now you have another place which is opening up.
It's like a gift.
I won't say that our textile will compete with Chinese textile, but it's another market which has opened up, which is a huge market. So if you want to do the effort, one door closes, another one opens up.
Fortune, the two sessions highlight priorities such as digital technology, green development, high-tech industries in the coming years. Where do you see most of the promising opportunities for cooperation between China and Nigeria?
Wow, I see it most realizable in the area of startups, in the area of artificial intelligence operation. For instance, Nigeria really sets the pace by taking the lead in regulating artificial intelligence operation across Africa, which is very, very key. By the time it gets effectively implemented, it will help a great deal to advance the course, of this technological advancement. Before now, Nigeria has always prioritized the area of technological advancement in agriculture, in education, and also in other aspects of tech industries. But the only aspect I see that is really slowing the pace is that of support system. Nobody can really make the world alone. You need support, you need partnership. And having China as a support, in terms of deepening cooperation, in terms of strengthening the bilateral relations and trade and everything in that aspect will help a great deal. Just like he mentioned, Africa is so endowed with natural resources, but inability to convert these resources into packaged or finished
Yeah.
consumable,
Yeah.
goods is a big challenge.
Yeah.
So having China to bring the knowledge base, the skill, in exchange or in trade will help Nigeria a great deal to advance the cause. Don't forget Nigeria has the largest population in Africa.
Yeah, sure.
And population is indeed a big market. It's indeed a strength. It offers a lot of potential. So this alone can also unravel the prospect of a very short-term plan. Don't even look at it on the long term. By the time they get started, I can tell you for free that indeed Nigeria will have a very big turnover, and it will help to ease the burden of economic hardship that most times the government faces in terms of generating revenue, tackling debts, and also meeting its goals, which are very, very jamming for the well-being of the people.
Satyen, this year marks the 105 years since the founding of the Communist Party of China. Based on what's discussed around the two sessions, such as poverty alleviation, anti-corruption efforts, environmental governance, and economic planning, what lessons can Africa learn from CPC's governance? I find a lot of Africans are always intrigued by that, like how,
In a short sentence, we'll never be able to replicate China.
All right.
We spoke lengthily about this when we were in China last year among African colleagues. We were around 25 African colleagues. And we said, why can't we become the next China? Why can't we become as good as China? And then we found out that the one of the biggest problems that we may have is that of language.
All right.
Right?
Okay.
Africa is split between between English-speaking countries, French-speaking countries, Portuguese-speaking, and no one seems to be to come up with a single language policy.
Yeah.
Now, China is vast, but the leaders of China made sure that everyone speaks a single language.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go in China, you will have a single language.
Yeah.
China is so vast, you have a single time frame, right? It's 6 p.m. in Beijing, it's 6 p.m. in Urumqi, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like having different
yeah,
time
yeah,
zones.
yeah.
Everyone speaks the same language. We wake up together, we sleep at the same time, right? And we work during the same hours, right? And then we also have this problem that, as I spoke earlier, we have been colonized and we have suffered a lot. And the colonizers, when they left the country in a very poor shape. Most of the countries are still struggling to come up and assert themselves, right? And the political system here in China has been consistently growing. There you have different systems. So how are we going to unite them together, right? This is one of the biggest challenge. So for me, we have to learn a lot from China, and it's going to be very difficult to achieve what China has achieved, right? Speaking about poverty, I was so surprised when I came last year. I was really shocked that everything is so spick and span here. It's clean. It's beautiful. You don't see poverty anywhere. Yeah. And then we learned about how China had done wonders to try to alleviate poverty. So nobody in China lives under the strategic poverty line, right? And this is very far from the truth in Africa, right? In Africa, we still have people who don't have access to basic needs like water, like electricity, like food, like education, right? So for us, it's going to be a long way ahead. A very long way ahead.
Maybe we can start country by country. Maybe at the next AU summit, we can say, okay, look, this is what's going to happen, okay? Every country, and we're going to be following up.
Yeah,
maybe it needs to be done like that.
It is. I mean,
maybe we need to be more strict.
Africa should stick together and develop some kind of policy which all countries should be given a timeline and a time frame.
Yeah, that'll probably work.
and say, okay, you have to try to respect this and try to work together. I don't know.
Fortune, from your perspective, what ripple effects will the two sessions have on the globalization, the development of the global south, and China's cooperation with Africa over the next few years?
Oh, that's a very, very big question because number one, let me start by saying we should take the lessons from the success recorded. What is China really proving with its two sessions? It's attracting a lot of people from across the world,
Right.
especially from Europe. You understand? It has used these two sessions to bring people from across the world into a room, making it a global affair. It's not saying it's just Chinese thing, it's just NPC thing, it's just the conference thing. It's everybody. You can find people from Europe, from Africa, from Asia, from Middle East, all present. The diplomatic community. You could see the beauty of one mind, one heart, coming to learn, coming to understand, coming to appreciate, coming to connect, and coming to find ways of solutions that can be sustainable. You know,
Yeah.
so you understand that by so doing, it is already shaping the world narrative, shaping the world image, shaping the world path into sustainable development, sustainable goal. Let's even take another lesson. It's not the first time, it's not the second time. There's a 14th edition of a 5-year planning, processing, and effective implementation. When you want to do it, when you want to carry out a plan, it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of resources, a lot of time, a lot of focus. And now by so doing, you evaluate the process and do your impact assessment to make sure that you didn't fail. And even if you failed, you take the lessons to correct them in the next edition.
Yeah.
You could see people from all walks of life, present, represented, you know, just to come learn, to come see, to come buy in, to come connect. I wouldn't have been here if such a thing was not open. And look at it properly. It wasn't just about a political party thing. It was all-encompassing, all-embracing. So this is one of the things I think that the world over should also emulate.
Yeah.
It's failure to look without learning. Emulate how this thing works. Learn from what works. Adopt and adapt yourself into it and see how you get results. And another aspect we are not looking at is that China is localizing this process, but it is using its own local strategy to connect into modernization. This is a pathway. It has used it to solve issues about poverty, insecurity, and you know so well that anything China is doing, it is what it practices. It has this policy trust that it has been so tenacious about, which is the non-interference policy and approach to international relations. And this is what it is also preaching. Don't interfere in another nation's sovereignty, which is what the world should be. China is not doing what it is telling you it is imagining. It is telling you what it should be, what it has practiced, what it is doing to make sure it gets results. So if you're seeing where success lies, why sit on the bench of failure? So I just rest with that.
I would like to just add something. We're speaking about
Satyen.
Africa a little bit earlier. We have another big problem in Africa. Here, the perenniality of the previous 5-year plans have made China grow up to what it is today. But in Africa, we have the very bad habit that whenever there's a change in regime, the first thing is they did everything wrong. Let's pull everything down and then let's start building again. So it's never like building a pyramid. You have a very solid base like China. It's growing steadily, right? And in Africa, it's not like that. In Africa, most of the time, whenever there's someone new, he would try to pull his own ideas, even if he's a newbie, even if he's without any experience. But just because you've been voted to come up to govern your people, okay, whatever the former regime did is no good, so we are pulling everything down. And then when each 5 years, 10 years, you pull everything down and you start constructing again, how far will you go? Not very far. That much you will agree with me, right?
Let me just chip in something there.
Sorry,
Let's
sure,
take the
sure.
lessons from the sessions, from what he mentioned right now. You discover that one of the lessons to learn is the aspect of continuity.
All right. Yeah.
There's the aspect of continuity. What is the session offering? Trade cooperation. It is offering a blueprint where trade can be integrated.
Yes.
It is offering a blueprint where it can make room for where there is need and where there is demand or where there is supply.
Yeah.
Where the chain can evenly be spread, where it can also open aspect of innovation and where it can solve problems.
Yeah.
It is telling you this is what I have to offer. Where do you need me? I'm available. So I am.
And where are you available as
Are you
well?
available?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, it's
So
an opportunity for both sides.
It's a marketing strategy. You can look at it from the perspective of tourism. You can look at it from the aspect of trade. You can look at it from the aspect of sustainable solutions. You can look at it from the aspect of global governance, which is very, very germane. So the two sessions are something that I think nations should start buying. Come also find this kind of platform to sell your ideology, sell your blueprint, and get buy-in. It will connect you to other, nationals, other corporation, other partnership, and there you can grow. Nobody can solve a problem alone. You understand?
The big question, Fortune, how many African countries have this blueprint? Or have they tried to have some kind of blueprint?
There's no harm in trying. The worst thing is to not to try, because even if you try, you should not. Even if you fail, it should not be for lack of trying.
Yeah.
So just make a move and try. Every country that partnered with China always has the results to show. So why not just take the bold step?
Just to wind off our discussion there, gentlemen, 2026 marks the 70th anniversary of diplomatic ties between China and Africa. It's also the China-Africa Year of people-to-people exchanges.
Yeah,
yes. In what areas would you like to see deeper cooperation between China and your respective countries? Maybe we'll start there with you, Satyen.
Like I said, in the field of technology, first and foremost.
Okay.
Right? And then I jumped somewhere very far from technology, and that is sports.
All right.
Our country was known to produce very good sportsmen. We have not as good as Jamaica. We don't have people as fast as Usain Bolt, but we have very good athletes in our country. And in the year 70s and 80s, we had got a lot of coach from China.
All
and
right.
our athletes were doing so wonderfully well across the world, right? And then sports took a backseat. Economy, technology, and education, and things like this were leading the way. And I would like to see back China helping us in the field of sports. China is another big nation in terms of sports, right? I know obviously not everyone will agree with me. They will put economy first or technology first, but I would say I would love to get back the help of China in the field of sports, because you have wonderful sportsmen here and wonderful trainers, wonderful coach. You have the equipment. China has been building a lot of stadium across Africa, right? In all different kind of sports, right? They have the technology, they have the know-how, and they know, and they have the people to support the whole thing. So I would love to see a little more.
Are you a sportsman yourself?
He looks it.
I'm not a big sportsman, but I've been a TV sports producer for 15 years.
All right.
Right.
So you definitely
So
know.
I've followed that much of sports in my country, and I know where we are going, and what should be done to go back again and compete with the best in Africa and in the world, right?
And how about you there, Fortune? Where would you like to see more deeper cooperation between China and Nigeria?
I would love to see it first in the blue economy.
Okay.
Blue
all right.
economy, because I think that is an area that is unannounced in Nigeria. The federal government of Nigeria is doing a lot, reforming policies, doing its best. I think the government needs support, more partnership, more support from countries like China to enable it to meet, increasing number of expectations on the young population, Government alone cannot do this. That's why there is need for the public-private partnership in our affair. If we can take this deeper through diplomatic relations, bilateral cooperation, it will help the government really achieve its set goals. Another area is the aspect of startups. Nigerians are naturally creative, intelligent, and very tenacious. Well, where you don't have a conducive environment for you to, ventilate or, exhale, it becomes a problem to really live the dream.
Yeah.
If you check the average Nigerian, sometimes it's always like, oh, the field is greener on the other side. But for me, it's home. The resources are home. But the challenge is how to connect that dream into reality, match the idea. The innovation can be there, but the manpower, the energy, the resources financially, natural sometimes can be inadequate. So we need more of this platform through China's partnership with the federal government to make it a reality. Then I also want to see more of the exchange of educational platforms in terms of enabling Nigerians who are, innately endowed, have a platform they can grow their skill, know how to process this. How Nigerians can venture into the world of artificial intelligence, connect and, manufacture things that will solve local problems through local innovations. And that will help a great deal. Then lastly is the aspect of technological advancement in the area of agriculture. Nigeria is blessed with an array of land and other resources. Where there is food, it become a platform for not just energy or self-sufficiency, food security, but also international trade. It will help to advance the economic growth. So at least by the time you have staple food to sell out, you can also grow the economy for the country. So there are many areas I love to see, but starting with this, I think a lot can be achieved.
Well, that brings us to the end of the discussion there. Fortune and Satyen, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
This is CGTN Radio. Hear the difference.